Welcome, welcome, welcome to Mr. Easley's Mathematical Mayhem. Another exciting day of mathematics with the strange person that, for some unknown reason, you don't get to see anymore. Sorry. Anyway, so we're going to be working like this. I'm going to be doing this off of Zoom. This is what I'm actually doing. I'm using Zoom right now and trying to get this to work. We'll see how it works when we actually try to get together. If the Zoom thing doesn't work right, then I'll be using this as a means to record lessons, and then I'll post them to my YouTube channel, which is of course where you found this video, and we should be okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the document camera, and we're going to get working on some math. Okay. All right, guys, so here we are. Now, we're going to work on fractions today. Oh, before we start with that, here is the information that you're going to need for every meeting that I hold. So please go ahead and write this down somewhere. And since this is going to be on YouTube, I'm not going to wait very long because you can obviously pause the video and write it down. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about fractions and decimals and percents. Let's get this straightened out. This thing is not working right. Hey, this feels just like Mr. Easley's room where he's always fiddling with the document camera. Okay, so remember that we have decimals, we have fractions, and we have percents. Now, all of these allow us to express the size of something, the accurate numbers of something in three completely different number manners. Now, remember that percents are not actually numbers in the classic sense. They're a representation of the quantity of something. So remember, we can never just use a percent as math. We have to convert it to decimals or fractions if we want to actually do some math, okay? All right, so let's start with a fairly easy one that we've worked on a ton. If I have a decimal of 0.25, what do you think the fraction is going to be? Give you a couple seconds to think about that. Well, it's going to be 25 over 100. And if we reduced it by dividing the top and the bottom by 25, we'd get 1/4. Now, remember, when we're talking about decimals and decimal places, this is tenths, and then this is hundredths. So remember that a decimal is named by the last place value of its number. So I start at the decimal point and I say 25 hundredths. Well, 25 hundredths. Well, this also says 25%. 25%. And if it's 25%, then we're going to write it like that, right? And that's how we're going to look at that. Okay. Now, let's do 56%. Now I want to go back this way and see if we can calculate what the other two are going to be. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to kind of look at that and see if you remember how that works, so that you can use what I write here as basically checking the answers for you. So we're going to get 56 100ths, okay? Because remember, when we're converting from percents back to decimals, we move this direction, right? So percents go this way, decimals go that way. So if I go back to decimal places, I'm going to get 0.56. I hope you got that right. Now let's try one here. And when we do this live, if we're able to, we'll be able to use the chat feature for people to be able to suggest a number to use, and then we'll work from there. And that way we'll kind of keep it a little more interactive, and we can have some fun while we're doing it. Because doggone it, we should be able to have fun here, okay? All right, so let's try something like 0.025. Now, tenths, hundredths. Whoop. Did it again. Hundredths. And this is finally going to be what? Thousandths, right? Right? So how many what do we have here? We have 25. So we're going to be able to say 25 thousandths. Okay. Now remember, converting from decimals to percents, we're going to go right. So we're going to go right 2 spaces, and the decimal point moves to here. So I have 2.5, but now it's in the proper form to be 2.5%. All right. Now, we also did problems that looked like this. I want to know, so a miracle happens and this crazy nightmare is over and we get to go back to the store and buy things. And they might even have sales and there might even be things on the store shelf. Woohoo! What a concept. All right, so if I'm going to the store and I'm trying to buy a pack of toilet paper, it's like a major pack of toilet paper. It's like survive the zombie apocalypse pack of toilet paper. And this pack of toilet paper costs $65 normally. That is a lot of toilet paper. Now, we're lucky because this store stocked up on this thinking that this plague was going to last longer than it did, and they bought so much of it. And now everyone in the world has so much toilet paper that they're not going to have to buy toilet paper for like the next 5 years. So they're putting it on sale at 30% off. Now remember, when I want to calculate the discount of something, I can multiply the numerical equivalent of 30% times this, and that'll give me the discount. Well, remember, when we're doing percents, we're going to take the decimal point to the left. So here we are at 30. So the decimal point is here. We move it to the right 2 spaces, and we get 0.30 or just 0.3, right? Because we don't need to keep that 0 on the end. So I've got $65 and I want to find out what 30% off is going to be. So I'm going to multiply, because this is going to say, this is going to say 30% of $65, right? And so we need to convert that into a mathematical expression. Well, we know that 30% we're going to represent as 0.3. We remember, hopefully, that of means times. So we put that little midpoint dot there. That gives us our multiplication point, and we're going to multiply it by 65. So here we're going to do our work over here because we don't do work in our head, because when we do it in our head, we make mistakes. And so 3 times 5, 15. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. And there's 1 decimal space here, so I'm going to pull this decimal point in 1 spot. So the discount is $19.50. Now, if I wanted to find out what the final price would be, I'd have to take this discount and subtract it from 65. So now we're going to go over here, final price is going to be 65 minus 19.50. Now remember, whenever I'm subtracting decimals like this, it's always good to fill those in with zeros. Allows you not to make mistakes. Remember, we're always looking for ways that we can be more accurate. When we're more accurate, we make fewer mistakes. When we make fewer mistakes, we get the answer right more often than not. So 0, 0. I can't take 5 from 0, so I have to borrow. 10 minus 5 is 5. I bring down the decimal point. I can't take 9 from 4, so I have to borrow again. 5 and 4. So the sale price of this multi-pack of toilet paper that you probably have to strap on to the roof of your car is going to be $45.50. The good news is you could probably take it out to some place like Safford and it'll take care of the entire city for probably a month. But that's okay. You'll be a hero and they'll put you in the newspaper. So, all right, this is the end of my first test with you. So let me force you to have to look at my gruesome face again. Oh my God, here we are. All right, so hopefully this will work. I'm going to send out an invitation for a meeting, I think for tomorrow. Does that seem like a good idea to you? I hope it does. Comment down below if tomorrow, say, I don't know, I was thinking maybe about 11 o'clock in the morning. That gives you guys time to roll out of bed, you know, get ready, try to do something useful. What do you think? I think 11 o'clock sounds good. So I'm going to send an invitation through the email, and I'll also send an invitation through Clever so that you'll get notified that there's an invitation, and you'll just be able to click on that and boom, boom, it'll take you right in there. All right. So it's been good to talk to you again, and I hope that you have a lovely evening, and I'm hoping that we will be able to speak tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye.